spin the answers. And despite what people sometimes think, we don't. When I know more than your average administrator about cost estimation methodologies, actually, and we truly have some people at this agency and have had people at this agency who are very good at it. There are industry standard tools and methods, and we have them and use them. But after you feed in everything you think you know, if you will, to the cost estimation box, and you get out an answer, what is your rationale for spinning the number? I mean, you fed in everything you know. If you change the answer that comes out, well, you're just making it up. And we don't want to do that either. Now, what usually happens to us is that things we didn't know about when we started have to be done. We do them because the alternative would be failure, but they weren't anticipated at the start. And so they cost more. It wasn't as much a failure. I don't want to sound as if in my prior answers or this one as if I'm blaming the cost estimators for not having good methodologies. That's not fair. They do. But they can only estimate the cost of things and processes that we know we're going to need. And if in the process of designing a mission, as almost always happens, we discover that we didn't have it totally figured out on the front end, then we have to do the things that come up and they cost money. And so that's where we get into difficulty. Now, it'd be nice. Honestly, your question's a good one. In a perfect world, I would love to start a project out with a big bucket labeled reserves. But the OMB doesn't like that, and the Congress doesn't like that. And the reason that they don't like that is entirely reasonable from their perspective, because that represents money on the table which is not being utilized in the furtherance of other goals. You've left it in the reserve bucket, and that means it's not being applied in the moment to, as long as it's sitting in the reserve bucket, it's not being applied to other national goals. And their view, directly expressed, is if you need more money, come back and tell me that you need more money and tell me why, but I'm not going to give it to you in advance. And you know, as a taxpayer, I'm not sure that's wrong. So some of this stuff comes out to saying we're really working it hard. We've got experts. They're doing the best they can. And there are limitations on just how well humans can do. And today, you know, you're seeing that we estimated wrong. Now, it's kind of interesting. The first meeting I had out at JPL after I took this job, Charles pointed out to me that Mars Science Lab was a project aggressively trying for '09, but it was aggressive. And the first thing I said to him was, well, tell me if you get in trouble the first minute that you do. And he's been 110% straightforward from day one about where we stood on MSL. And we always said if we get to a point where we don't think it's prudent to continue, we'll slip to 11. And we're telling you that, you know, this week we got to that point.
Okay, that'll wrap it up for today. Thanks to everybody who took part. And for more information on the mission and other NASA missions, check the website, www.nasa.gov. Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon.
My name is Curtis Manning. I work with Ares 1 at the Marshall Space Flight Center. Happy 50th anniversary, NASA. You're watching NASA TV.